Empty Bottle Reviews, Episode 7. After I finish a few bottles, I like to come on here, share some of my opinions with them, and say whether or not I would buy them again. I've already talked about most of these bottles on my Instagram account, so feel free to go over there and check them out. But if you want a review for all of them, stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe, leave some comments, and tell me what you think. So with that, let's jump right into it. I'm going to make this quick. I don't want to take multiple takes of this video, so we're just going to wing it, swing it, see what we can do. First one is the Leckie 11-year-old virgin oak cask finish. This one I loved. You can only buy it from the distillery, so if you're going to buy it, find a few bottles that you like, cut down on the shipping cost or the marginal shipping cost, and add this one to your list. It really offers the classic Leckie funk and peated whiskey experience, but takes it to the next level, bottled to cask strength, and really is one of the best peated whiskeys I've had to date. A top 10, 20 bottle for me for sure. Price wise, I would be willing to pay up to 120, 130 bucks for this easily. And I think you won't be disappointed if you want to try this. If you're ready to elevate your peated whiskey drinking game, definitely worth checking out the Leckie 11-year-old virgin oak finish. Let's see what else is on here. This next bottle is one that you're not going to find anywhere, unfortunately. This is the Springbank 12-year-old cask strength from August of 2020, bottled at 56.1%. Uses a cask maturation of ex-bourbon, ex-sherry, ex-burgundy, ex-port cask. So it's a bit of a Frankenstein bottle of whiskey, but honestly, it works. None of the casks overpower the classic Springbank characteristics or distillate, and it really is a well-tuned whiskey. Very nuanced, complex, interesting, one that I love, one that I have a backup of, one that I saw in the store a couple of years ago and I didn't buy because I thought 120 bucks was too expensive, and now in 2023 that would be a bargain and I would have bought the bottle without a doubt. So not buying it was a mistake on my part. That said, if you can find this one, even if it's on auction, even if it's a little more expensive, and you love Springbank, it is worth it. I would pay probably close to 200 bucks for another bottle of this. That's how good it is. Not cheap, not easy to find, but really an excellent whiskey. Springbank, 12-year-old cask strength, 2020 of August release. Next up is the Artful Dodger Ben Nevis, 21-year-old. Now this is an interesting whiskey. It took me a while to click with this one. I mean, I initially got interested in Ben Nevis from their standard official bottling of their 10-year-old, which is really an outstanding whiskey, and it's probably one of the best Ben Nevises I've had to date. This one is a smaller bottle, 50 cl instead of 70, and it did take me a little bit of time to connect with. I didn't love this whiskey when I first had it. It took me about maybe half the bottle before I really understood, all right, now I know what's going on in this bottle. I don't know if it oxidized. I don't know if my palate changed, but I ended up really, really loving this whiskey. It went from like a good whiskey, maybe like an 8.5 out of 10, which is for me that's a solid whiskey, but not for the price I paid. And by the end, it was like at a 9.25, which is right below that top tier for me. So this one I probably wouldn't buy again because of the first half, but one that I definitely don't regret having. And if you do know you like Ben Nevis, if you like Artful Dodger as an independent bottler, probably worth checking out. Might be hard to find nowadays. I don't know. I got this one a while back. Let's jump on to the next one. We've got one of my early all-time favorite whiskeys. That is the Ancnoc 24-year-old. Ancnoc comes from the Knockdhu distillery in the Highlands, which is right on the border of Speyside. And the reason why most early whiskey drinkers really fall in love with the Ancnoc 24-year-old is that it offers an well-aged drinking experience for a very reasonable price. Now, the price has been ticking up over the last few years, but this is still around 160, 170 bucks if you order it from abroad, which for a 24-year-old whiskey, bottled at 46%, matured in a combination of ex-bourbon, ex-sherry cask, it is absolutely worth it. This is my second bottle that I've had it finished already. I have another one on the shelf waiting for the future, and it's one that I hope I can always have with me, but I know if the price gets a little high end, I'll probably stop getting it. But if you can find the Ancnoc 24-year-old, it's absolutely worth it. Really delicious whiskey. And finally, I have a fifth one tonight. Most of these episodes I only have 4, but I finished 5, and I want to recycle these bottles, so I'm pushing out number 5 right now, and this one is one that's going to be the easiest to find out of all the ones we talked about tonight. This is the Compass Box Peat Monster Arcana, and it's composed of 75% 14-year-old, or actually 71.4% 14-year-old Talisker. And it's got some Ardbeg in there. It's got some Milton Duff and some other various whiskeys that Compass Box likes to throw into their blends. And overall, this is just a really, really nice, easy sipping blended peated whiskey. It's not super complex, but it is interesting enough. It's engaging enough, but it's never harsh, and it's one that I really enjoyed drinking. It probably took me about a year to finish this bottle, but I never regretted going back to it and drinking it. You can usually find it for $80 to $90, which is a reasonable price for what you're getting. I think it's worth it. It's probably one that I would get a backup of if I didn't have so much whiskey already, but definitely recommend the Compass Box Peat Monster Arcana. And you might notice that most of my bottles I speak highly of, and that's because I usually buy whiskeys that I know I'm going to like, and I finish those ones that I really like first, so it'll take a little bit of time before I get to some that I don't like as much as the ones that I talk about on these episodes. So that's it. That's this episode of the Whiskey Empty Bottle Review. So let me know what you think in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you next time.